Hey y'all, Day with Tian, Michelle. Labor Day weekend, and I'm actually going to get a little canning done, and you'll have to excuse the coughing in the background. That's my dog. His heart condition, it causes him to cough. So what we're going to do today is make what's called a Brandy Peach Conserve. I'm getting the recipe out of this canning cookbook that I recently got, Blue Ribbon Preserves, and it's on page 166. This recipe requires half a cup of golden raisins, which I have in here, soaking in half a cup of fresh orange juice. They've been soaking for a couple of hours. They just needed to plump up in the orange juice. So let them stand for 2 hours, which I've done. We're going to drain the raisins. You don't even need the orange juice. So I don't know that it was really necessary to do fresh, but I did. I've got, let's see, what is this? About a tablespoon of grated orange rind. You're going to need 3 cups of pitted, peeled, and crushed peaches. I've got about 4 cups here. Just made a little bit more. I've got some extra peaches in a pot over here. Whatever I don't use in this, I'm going to dump I just put them in the blender and blended them up. Half a cup of strained fresh lemon juice. I've got fresh lemon juice here. We keep it on hand. I'm not going to worry about straining it though. Don't care. 6 cups of sugar. Got that right here. Let's see, half teaspoon of unsalted butter. Got that right here. Got some sliced almonds, which we're going to put in there. I was going to toast them, but I'm not going to take the time to do that. And we're going to need 2 3-ounce pouches of liquid pectin, and it calls for 1/3 cup of brandy, and it says the brandy is optional. I'm not a huge fan of brandy, so we're going to change this up and use one of my favorite liquors in here to spice things up. I love it in my cherries, so I can't imagine it not being good in the peaches. So yeah, we're going to turn this into Fireball Peach Conserve. So as you can see, I've already kind of got everything prepped. I got my jars in the dishwasher right now. I'll run back over the recipe again. This is supposed to make about 8 half-pint jars. We'll see. I've got probably 9 or 10 of them in there, just in case it makes a little more. Also, I've got a little quarter pint jar in there for if there's just that little bit left over that's not enough to fill a jar. So alright, we're going to start mixing things together, and we'll bring you back in just a minute when we start that. Alright, I've got my pureed peaches in here. It actually says just crushed peaches, but I wasn't going to sit there and try to crush them up when I knew I was going to take an emulsion blender and blend it up a little smoother. So I've just gone ahead and pureed it. I want you to pour the half a cup of lemon juice in here and stirring until the fruit is well coated. Well, that's not going to be too hard since I pureed it. Alright, here go the raisins that have been drained. I just added the juice from that orange that these raisins have been soaking in into the leftover puree that I think I'm going to make a pie out of it. So we shall see, since I had leftover peaches. Okay, next our sugar's going to go in. Yep, stir in the sugar. 6 cups. There we go. Sorry, I was blocking the camera. Let's kind of get that mixed in. Next, we're going to add our zest. Let's see. It's still kind of damp. I was hoping by sitting on the counter for a little bit it would have dried out a little bit. Nope. No can do. Okay, let's keep stirring with this for just a minute. Okay, so there's our orange zest. Let's make sure that gets mixed around real good. Okay, now we're going to need our teaspoon of butter. And I guess I could also turn on the heat. So let's see. Teaspoons up here. There we go. Got enough. Put that back in the fridge. Alright. So now that we've got all this done, We're going over medium-low heat. Heat the mixture, stirring constantly until the sugar is completely dissolved, and then we're going to stir in the 3/4 of a cup of almonds. So I guess I better get them ready to go, and we'll bring you back when we get this up to where we're ready to add the almonds, I guess, and then we're going to increase the heat and bring it to a boil. Alright, we've got all the sugar melted, got the butter melted, and now it's time to add our almonds. I was reading in this book, it was this one or one other one I've recently gotten, that if you actually toast your nuts in a little butter, it'll bring out more of a nutty flavor in them. I probably should have taken the time to do that, but I didn't. Maybe next time. I'm going to see how this is. I've already had a little taste of what is on the plate for me resting the spoon on there. This is so good. Oh my gosh. I can see this is going to be a really big hit. I should have really crushed the peaches instead of pureed them, but I think it'll be just fine. We're going to see anyway. So anyway, let's see what we got to do next. I've got my pectin on hand, close on hand, I should say. Alright, we're going to increase our heat to a medium-high, so I'm putting mine up to about 7. I'm going to bring this up to a rolling boil, stirring constantly. And once I guess it gets to the rolling boil, we're going to turn in, add both pouches of pectin and boil that for 1 minute. And then we're going to skim off any foam, stir in the brandy. I've got my jars in the dishwasher, as you can probably hear. I've got some water heating over here to heat up my lids a little bit. This does recommend that to prevent floating syrup, I'm really with it today, floating fruit, allow the conserve to cool for 5 minutes before filling the jars. And that way you can gently stir the conserve to distribute the fruit more evenly and then ladle it into your jars. We're going to see how that works because I made more jalapeno jelly earlier. I've already got a video on that, so I didn't video it again. But I'm always getting a little frustrated that the jalapeno bits float up to the top before it fully sets, and you have to stir it up when you open the jar, but it's not that big a deal. But I don't know, I guess if you were going to enter this into a show of some sort, one of those fairs or something, I don't do that around here, but you would want the fruit evenly, or fruit or vegetable evenly distributed. So anyway, we'll get this up to a boil and we'll bring you back when we're ready to add in our pectin. Okay, we've got this up to a boil where it's not going back down, so let's get the pectin added right quick. Come out of there. Don't want to come out. And second pouch. I always manage to get pectin on me. And it's slimy. Okay, hang on. Put the hands. Still didn't get it all off. Okay, start stirring and start your timer for 1 minute. I was really excited to find this canning cookbook that I picked up. I found it on eBay. I'll cover the title and the author and put a link to it, or list it below, so if y'all are interested in trying to find a copy for yourself, I have got all sorts of recipes tagged in there. Okay, turning our heat off, turning our timer off. I'm gonna pull this over, and I'm gonna hope y'all can still see. Oh, good, it didn't fall all the way in, and I'm slipping as well. Okay, time to add 1/3 of a cup of brandy, or in my case, the Fireball. That's not quite enough, so thankfully I have another jar. You can add whatever type liquor you like. Okay, 1/3 of a cup. Oh wow, it sizzles. I don't know if you couldn't see it, but you could probably hear it. Get a little sizzling. Oh, that smells so good. So good, so good. Alright, I am going to take the book's recommendation and let this sit for a few minutes, and it'll give me time to get everything else set up and ready, and we'll see if we can distribute the stuff a little more evenly again. So we'll bring you back when we're ready to start jarring. Okay, got some jars out. We're going to start ladling. Got my debubbler here. Let it sit for a few minutes while I finish setting up, and I'm going to stir this up a little bit. And I'm hoping you can still, let me raise you up a little bit more because I'm going to bring this over a little closer and start ladling in this into the jar. And down the side of the jar, I've got to do that. I've already had to christen my new kitchen mat in front of my sink. You know, can't have a new mat without christening it sometime or another. Alright, we're going to do a 1/4 inch headspace on these. Looks about right. Put that over. Probably got a little bit much. Oh, that's warm too. Okay, let's debubble. And check our headspace. Perfect. Wipe your rim. Always remember to wipe the rim of your jar because it could prevent sealing, getting a good seal on there, and you don't want that. Let's see. One of the gold lids. Okay. Try to keep the lids that came with the jars. These are some of those anchor jars because I know I'll be giving this away. So I try to buy the little bit cheaper jars when I know it's going to be given as gifts. This is a jar I like, so I'm going to be keeping this jar for myself. And I'm still hoping you can see. Yeah, kind of see. I need to lower the camera some, but now is not the time to be adjusting, so. Okay. Maybe a smidge bit more. That looks about right. Yeah, don't use the lid one to debubble, Michelle. That would be a bit messy. Okay. This is pretty liquidy, and like I said, folks, this stuff tastes wonderful. Perfect headspace. Wipe that rim. Grab a lid. I'm gonna have to reach around the camera. And I gotta say, I'm pretty pleased with how letting it sit up for a few minutes and letting the stuff distribute. It is distributing a little bit better. So let me hold that up and show you. There, oh, there's a good shot. Yeah, I like that. That works. Still got to work pretty fast, so I'm gonna finish getting the rest of these jarred up, and we'll bring you back when we're putting them in the canner, or have them in the canner. And my battery's running low anyway, so I got to change batteries. Alright, got them all in the canner. Let's see, I got 2, 4, 6, 7, and a 1/4 pint. Not bad. So I'm going to drop these down in the water, bring it up to a full rolling boil, and then we're going to start the timer for 10 minutes. We'll bring you back. Alright guys, we are up to a rolling boil, so I am going to start my timer for 10 minutes. If we were doing pints, we'd be doing 15 minutes. So we'll be back when these are out of the canner. Got everything out of the canner. All of them have sealed up, so I've got my 7 half pints and 1/4 pint ready to go. I'll keep a couple of jars for myself and probably give the rest of them away as gifts this Christmas. So let's go over the recipe again real quick because I don't want to infringe on copyright issues by putting writing it out below. I mean, I don't know if there's that big a deal about it or not, but I'm not going to take any chances of getting a copyright strike. So this is called Brandy Peach Conserve. It is in this cookbook, Blue Ribbon Preserves by Linda J. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Amendt. Who knows? I'm bad at names. Alright, we've got 1/2 cup of golden raisins, 1/2 cup of strange fresh orange juice. I don't know that it has to be fresh. I think I could have done it with just regular orange juice, but you know, if you want that extra, go that extra step, go ahead. 3 cups of pitted, peeled, and crushed ripe peaches. I pureed mine. Crushed would probably have been a little better. I would have taken the immersion blender to it anyway. So, okay, half a cup of strained fresh lemon juice, 6 cups of sugar, 1 tablespoon of minced or finely grated fresh orange zest. So I guess if you're going to do the fresh orange zest, go ahead and squeeze the orange and get the juice out of it, because all you're going to do is soak the raisins in it. Half a teaspoon of unsalted butter, 3/4 cups of sliced or slivered almonds, 2 3-ounce pouches of liquid pectin, and 1/3 cup of brandy, which is optional or your choice of whatever liquor you like to use. I use the Fireball Cinnamon, so this is going to be Fireball Peach Conserve. If you like Jack Daniels, use Jack Daniels. Use whatever you like. Peach schnapps, who knows? Amaretto. It'll all be good. Okay. In a small bowl, you're going to combine the raisins and the orange juice and let it stand for 2 hours to plump up the raisins. In an 8-quart pan, combine the peaches and lemon juice, stirring until the fruit is well covered. Drain the raisins, add the raisins to the pan, stir in the sugar, orange zest, and butter. I saved the juice and poured it in with the extra puree, peach puree that I had left over, and I'm going to make a peach pie with the extra peaches in that peach puree. Okay, over medium-low heat, heat the mixture, stirring constantly until the sugar is completely dissolved. Stir in the almonds. Increase the heat to a medium-high. Bring the mixture to a full rolling boil. Stirring constantly, stir in your pectin pouches. Return it to a full rolling boil, stirring constantly, and bring stirring constantly for 1 minute. Remove from the pan of heat. Skim off any foam. Stir in your liquor if you want it. To prevent floating fruit, allow the conserve to cool for 5 minutes before filling jars. So stir it gently to distribute the fruit. Ladle it into your hot jars. Leave a quarter inch head space. Put in, wipe the rims and put your lids on there. Rings finger tight. Process in a water bath for 10 minutes. If you're doing pints, 15 minutes. There you go. So, easy peasy. Really sticky, but I think it's going to be well worth it. I think it tastes wonderful from what little bit I sampled. So I appreciate y'all coming along. I hope you have a happy, safe Labor Day. I'm going to try to get this edited and up before the Labor Day weekend's over. That'll be amazing if I do. Thank y'all for coming along. Happy canning, and we'll talk to you again.